Hey everyone, look, it's Dave Johnson time. It's been a while. I did
It
take
has
the
been a while.
summer off. We both took well, my summer, your winter, right?
Yes.
That we haven't done a video for quite a while. Although I tried to like take the whole summer off. I didn't make it too far, but I tried. And it was just in the collaborations, but you know how it is, and people always ask to collaborate. You kind of just like, okay, you know. But
Hmm.
anyhow, I missed you. I missed you a lot. I know that you've had a really busy winter. So if you
Uh-huh.
want to get us caught up on things that you've been doing on your channel, and of course, if have people how to find you on doing readings and what kind of readings you offer.
Sure. Let me cut to the chase there, and you can look at my website, which is www.moonride.com.au. Don't forget the AU because I am in Australia. And I do a lot of different things, but channel mostly, and that is, psychic readings and channeling are relatively close to the same things. Pardon me. And I also do past life regressions, and I also do shamanic journeys, and I also do lots of things in and around that. Don't hesitate to just take a look at my website. I'll describe all those things in detail. I have sort of been taking the summer off. Pardon me, I have had a little bit of a cold recently, but the main thing that I've been doing is traveling around Australia with a young person who I've just been sort of the uncle to, if you will. It was really, really fun. And, sleeping underneath koalas in Queensland, among other things, and going to the Great Barrier Reef and seeing whales. It was great because, you live in a place, but you don't really know a place until you go visit it. Right. So that's what I've been up to. Um, a little bit of time off was certainly welcome, although I didn't take it all off. Yeah. I've basically been enjoying things. That's what I've been doing, to tell you the truth.
Good, 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 good. I know the feeling. I mean, I live like a stone's throw away from like Garden of the Gods, right? And I go in there or see it so often that people come like, oh my gosh, Garden of the Gods is so I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that I can go in there anytime I want. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I know that I had that feeling of having something so special that you kind of forget that you can go do it anytime
Yes.
you want.
Life takes over.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we have a show coming up. We have a lot of good questions for you
Right.
on channeling, and of course, at the end, don't forget to stay to the end. He's going to have a message. He's going to go in and get a message for us for the United States. So definitely hang around for that. So first up is the Tennessee Three.
Hmm.
So if anybody and everybody that has been paying attention to the news, the Democrats, the whole side of the Democrats walked out today because the speaker shut down Rep. Justin Jones again. He told him he couldn't talk for the rest of the day again. But then again, he also informed the Senate that he was putting a vote of no confidence against the speaker because of the problems that he has and the power he's been enacting.
Mm.
Apparently, also in the same session, from what I hear, a Republican representative was also corrected twice, but no vote was on him to shut him down for the rest of the day. It was just for Justin Jones. So the question is, with all of that said, and all the things that are going on in Tennessee, I kind of wanted you to get in there and see what's going on with the people and how they're dealing with it and what are they thinking and all of that about the whole turmoil of their
Hmm.
Senate right now and what they're
Hmm.
doing to the Tennessee Three.
So, I know isn't there more than one guy named Justin?
There's two Justins, both of
Two
them. I
Justins.
can't remember the other one's last name, but there's two
Mm.
Justins, and then yeah.
It's so funny how the universe sends us these people with these names. It Justin makes me think of justice.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like is going on here. It's, the past 5 years, it's almost like democracy's like knocking on our door. What are we going to do? How are we going to answer? How are we going to respond? And here we have another situation where we're a response, which it's just demanding a response. And it's almost like the worse the Republicans act, the more they bring a response forward. So in a sense, they're doing their jobs. When they just behave badly, but quietly, there was nothing to respond to. But they just keep becoming more and more outrageous and more detached from the people that they serve. So I'm seeing this Justin, and I'm seeing him smiling. I think it's Justin Jones, and he's smiling. But at the same time, I'm not sure that it even matters which Justin it is. It's the idea of them smiling, and at first it's dark, but the light starts shining. And I really want people to know that these guys have a very sort of divine presence, a divine message. They're here to remind us what democracy is about. And every day they're showing what democracy is about. And the real question, of course, excuse me, the real question we want to know is what's going to happen? So what is going to happen, Spirit? Again, through this sort of almost like a prism, this like, it's dark, but through this prism, this rainbow comes through. And one thing that is a mistake on the Republicans' part is that these guys are garnering a lot of attention. They are democracy. They're doing the right thing. And it's not necessarily helping the Republicans. People are starting to identify with them, the Justins. They're starting to identify with them and see them in action and see them as, active people working towards democracy. And I think this is a really good thing. I think that the situation has created better Democrats and Democrats who we wouldn't have listened to before. You are now, as a Democrat, not just there to be passive and do just tiny little things, but you have to be more dramatic. So again, I'm going to ask Spirit, what is going to happen? The Republicans are creating these almost movie star-like Democratic characters. People are going to pay attention to them. And as these guys move forward, they're going to be better leaders and more powerful leaders. And it won't just be about a state senate. I think they are creating really potential leaders in the Senate, leaders in higher levels of government, because these guys are actually doing something. So what else can we know? I'm seeing almost like a Christmas tree forming. Silver Christmas tree forming. What does this mean, Spirit? It's a prism. Look, this is a new way that people are going to start looking at politics. And, we could go to the facts and the details of what's going to shift and change and how much Tennessee is going to change. And, we could go to those kind of factual things. But I would encourage all of us to look at what is evolving, what's changing, how people are really seeing the Republican Party as this repressive, undemocratic, biased set of people who are the structures, as opposed to the new emerging Democrats. these situations are actually really good because they focus us all on the problem, which is the people who just have power, which is detached from the people. And then there's these other people who are questioning that power. And people admire that, even centrist people, even people who are a little bit Republican. They admire someone who speaks the truth to the power. I would encourage everybody to look at this and see it as a really positive step in the right direction. We've had too many years of these very passive people who, allow the Supreme Court to make George Bush the president. We should have all been protesting in the streets when that happened. It wasn't democracy. These are important, significant changes. It's great that they come from like the most conservative places. In some place, it's like, one thing they said about Jesus is that, he came from some neighborhood where they said, no good comes out of that neighborhood. I forget where he came from. And of course, it comes from the place that you don't expect it. Of course, it would come from Tennessee. It's the last place you would expect it.
Exactly.
Place where you can make the biggest changes.
Exactly. Yep. That's a good thinking. And as you were channeling all of that, I kept on envisioning also them being that beacon of hope, that highlight that they have literally have shoved them to a place of elevation which they didn't want. They were trying to smash, but they've moved them to a place of elevation.
Yeah.
And I think they definitely the opposite of what they wanted.
Yes. Yeah.
Tennessee is just I did a remote on Tennessee, and it's pretty dang bad there.
Yeah.
And not much has changed in the minds of racism and all that good stuff. But okay, so we're gonna move on. I had a question about the LGBTQ plus community. Did I get it right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. And they were hoping that maybe you can do an overall oversight of how they are doing in this country and what the projection and how, anything that you can tell us to kind of calm them down, to help them out, and any of that.
Well, let's remember for this community that we were almost placed on the planet to move the ball forward, to move freedom forward, right? And I'm speaking of myself as well. Now, we have changed people's minds. We have, when you're there and one advantage gay and lesbian people have is that, people don't necessarily know that. So they become friends with you. And once they become friends with you, they're like, hey, this person's okay. What I learned in that particular place, is wrong. This is another person and I like them and I don't care that they're gay or lesbian, right? And this goes for, a lot of people. You have that advantage of befriending a person before and this isn't true for all people, but you can get to know them. And once you get to know them and befriend them, it's like when people get into a car, they do things they would never do face to face. They will cut you off. They will be rude. Face to face, they would never do that because it becomes impersonal. When you really get to know someone, it's a lot harder to discriminate against them. So, I had a great advantage in 6th grade. I was bused to a school where all minorities were put together in this classroom, and we had a wonderful teacher named Terry Siegel. She was just wonderful about getting us to go along. So I don't have issues with other minorities. It's just like, it makes no difference to me at all. That's not something that I would have experienced if I hadn't been bused, because I went to a school that was almost all white. So one thing that is happening is we have changed the society. The problem, of course, is that for a group of people, that society changed too fast. They didn't meet a gay or lesbian person and become friends with them and change their mind. They didn't go, oh yeah, my nephew's gay, so I got to change my opinion. They are still living in a sort of exclusive place, and they resent the changes. So one thing that all of us who are different need to understand is that we really were brought to this planet to change minds. And that doesn't have to be your preoccupation. You don't have to spend your entire day explaining things to people. Some people are just not going to understand. And you have to have your own life. But there are some people whose minds have already been changed. And there are some people whose minds can be changed. And they can be changed when you talk about your own personal experience. I always feel like if most of the people who have issues with transgendered knew somebody who was transgendered, and that transgendered person just said, look, this is my experience. This is how I live in the world. And it wasn't controlled by Fox News, but it was controlled by them. Some people's minds would be changed. Some people, I believe all people are essentially good if you can do a little work there. So I don't want to put the pressure on anybody to be spending their whole life trying to persuade others. But I would say to them, there's often an opportunity to do this. And when you have the opportunity to do this, don't waste it by arguing with them and being angry, because that won't change anybody's minds. And you don't have anything to prove, right? You are who you are, and that's that. And that's God. You are who you are. And God, if you will, created you in that image. So there's nothing you need to prove. But if it comes up as an opportunity that sometimes you can express yourself and just talk about yourself without criticizing, you can change people's minds. We are in that process. And that process is going to take a few years. It's going to be an effort, just like it was when I was young. We really had to make these efforts. When I was 17 and I came out, it was work to, convince some of my friends. And not all of them were as close as they were before that. And I had to, of course, choose friends who were more alternative and interesting. So one thing that I would welcome gay and lesbian or plus or whatever people, anybody that's different, is realize that sometimes this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to find out who really is a person you want to be friends with, who really is open-minded, who really is going to support you, who really is not judgmental, and to understand that there's some people who are. In some ways, it's an opportunity to find out the cool people who you want to hang out with and divide them away from the people who would really not be very deep friends. This is an opportunity, and I know that a lot of people are suffering there. What I would just say to all of those people is, be good to yourself. Spend some time in the day meditating and asking for, love and confidence and acceptance, because it is there. It may not be there through some people, but it is there. And you just have to kind of put the people who are not going to love you aside and go towards the people and the spirit who will always love you. Let us remember that heaven is not an exclusive club. Everybody goes there. And anybody who tells you otherwise is only doing that for their own power, out of fear, and because they can't believe what they believe on their own. They need other people to believe together with them. This is an opportunity for you to really become an independent person who's in relationship with spirit directly. And things will get better. It's just a question of a generation. There's a generation of people who are living in fear, don't understand, who, have difficulty, getting online. They're afraid of the changes, all of the changes, not just in, gender identification. They're just afraid. And to some degree, that's sad for them. We can give them some sympathy because they're living in fear. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to live by the judgments of others. This is a way for us to, again, learn and evolve. And we will. In 10, 12 years, this will be a non-issue again. It's just come up now because a particular political body gains power through telling us that some people are good and some people are bad. And
Right,
it has always been like that.
right,
But
right.
it doesn't have to be like that for you.
Yeah, that's an excellent message for them to remember how powerful they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, in the native culture, this is something I learned, is that
Mm,
they say that in the native culture that they are spiritual teachers because they can see
mhm,
both sides of the veil.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that that's a great message to also remind them how special and how not special like special, but you know what I mean? They're like they possess a power that this our humans need. We need
Mhm,
that power. And
mhm.
so some people need to just get on board and shut the hell up, to be honest with you.
We're all special.
Yeah,
Some people pretend they're not
you're right,
because they
right, right,
don't want to show who they are, right?
right. All right. So next up, after that beautiful message for
Mm.
that community, we have Greg Abbott in Texas.
Ugh, ugh.
So yeah, exactly. So let me read off what I learned about that. So we all know that Greg Abbott has put these little barriers in the Rio Grande, has little razor things or the saw blades on them, and some people have been found unalived around them because they're trying to do that. He's taken over the whole Rio Grande and only supposed to be half. I mean, he's just doing whatever he wants, right? So
Mhm,
apparently, a little while ago, I'm not sure exactly the day, but a National Guard member on duty at the Texas-Mexico border in El Paso fired across the Rio Grande, injuring a 37-year-old Mexican man on
mhm.
Saturday night. So it was Saturday night, according to the Texas Military Department of Mexican news outlets. So it's
Wow.
it's a club launch down there, right? Do whatever you want,
Right,
anything
right,
you want to them. You know, they've been literally Greg Habit has taught them to see them as an animal instead of a human
right.
that's
Mhm.
that's down there. So
Yeah.
what I want you to do, I think we have a little bit of time left. What I want you to do is to see where those type of incidences, where is it going to take us? Where's it going to take Texas? What's going to happen?
Mhm. It's a really good question because it really is almost good and evil here, right?
Right.
That you would do something like that to another person. But he keeps pushing it. Okay. And now he's pushed it to the realm of international law. I mean, Mexico can sue. I mean, Mexico can go after. There are international bodies that will say that you can't do that. That will adjudicate this. It also involves Biden and the federal government because now an American person has shot a Mexican person, right? So it's again, the Republicans just push it and push it and push it. They go too far. This was totally unnecessary, right? So now Abbott has a problem, which he didn't have before, and it just their arrogance, the bigotry is just it will be doing it will be their downfall because they will always perform for the crowd, and that's one thing that I hope people realize. Politics now, it's about a movie. It's not about any reality, right? Trump didn't really do anything. He just got out and performed and entertained the right wing and, to some degree, everybody else. It's not, politics is no longer about doing things that help people. It's about the media performance around it. And this time, Abbott has gone too far. So let's see what happens. First of all, the trooper is worried. The trooper who shot him is now, Abbott's not happy with him because he's created a crisis. So it it might be, let's see. Now, this is giving Biden an excuse to interact. Now Biden has a reason to go there and, arrest this guy. And I think that may well happen, is that this man will be taken into custody and be charged with a crime. And it's complicated because, Abbott will have to surrender this person. And it's also a federal crime. It's not a state crime. So Abbott cannot, erase what's going on. It's now in Biden's hands, or Mayorkas' hands. So what's he going to do? Yeah, I think this man will be arrested. That is the trooper. It will make Abbott look bad. It will focus all of our attention on the the methods that Abbott is doing, the really cruel methods. So what's Abbott going to do? Or should I say, what's going to happen to Abbott? Abbott, whenever I see him and I see him on TV, he just looks angry and mean. And that's what he exposes himself to. In Texas, you're a little bit insulated because of the politics of that state. But other states are also looking at this. Other people are looking at this and being like, what's wrong with these people? So what are the consequences? It just seems like it's creating problems for Abbott. And they're bigger than just practical problems. They're political problems. He now has to answer for them.
Probably.
And to anybody, sorry.
I used to say probably nothing, right? That's it.
It's, well, it just makes him look worse and worse. Texas is kind of getting closer to a 50-50 state. And, maybe you're Hispanic and you don't have, maybe you're moving a little bit to the conservative, the Republican. It's hard to accept that he would allow someone to shoot and kill another person or shoot and injure another person. You might have strong feelings about who comes over the border, but it is not okay in your mind. So he's really not doing himself any good politically. And I think that this will be part of Abbott's downfall. I do think that there will be long-term consequences. I think that this is going to move people to the left. I think that the Republicans are becoming so extreme, and this is an example of those extremes, that it will eventually create a backlash. It'll take some time. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it will slowly create a backlash as, honestly, the boomers start to, disappear. This new generation of people that's moving in is starting to see things for what they are. And I'm going to say that Abbott's days are limited. I don't know if he will succeed in the next election. It's these symbolic things, these, kids put into cages. They have more value, more importance than, laws these days, because they're so visceral. They cause us to have strong feelings. Shooting an innocent person at the other side of the border who isn't doing you any harm, that does move people to some degree of sympathy. So I don't know. I think Abbott is going to reap the consequences of this action. And he certainly isn't happy with this police person who did the shooting. Don't be surprised if this is one of the things that it just seems like a little thing. I mean, it just seems symbolic. It's not a law that affects everybody, but it's the kind of thing that focuses people and makes them get out and vote.
Yeah, I think they're trying to move the Republicans to be numb to any sympathy.
Right.
Right. In order for you to be a Republican nowadays, you have to be okay with them treating our LGBTQ community plus community badly, calling them names, telling them they're disgusting.
Right.
You have to accept a criminal as your leader, the liar in chief, right? You have to do that. I
Right.
mean, they have pushed these people so far. I bet you as a Republican, you didn't know that you had to follow Putin. You know what I mean? As far
Right.
I think that's what they're doing the most. And now this happens. And in order for you to stay a Republican, you have to be okay with that shooting.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they're just numbing them
Right.
at this
And
point.
they're pushing people too far. It's
Yeah.
and it's a one-trick pony. You don't have anything more than hatred.
Yep.
So now when problems do evolve, when there's another problem with the electrical grid, he doesn't have any, he can't keep going back to the hatred. People want more than hatred. And I think that's the miscalculation that the conservatives made. There's nowhere for them to go but more conservative, to
Yeah.
out conservative each other.
That is
There's
true.
nothing
There's no
else.
end to their thing. And you're right.
Yeah.
At some point in time, people are going to start jumping off that ladder.
Yes.
Like that's
Yeah.
a little too far.
Yeah.
And all of a
Yeah.
sudden their human emotions start to come back, their compassion starts to come back, and like, whoa, wait.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Mhm.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and just we're gonna do the weather. See if you see anything come, and then we will go to your message you have for us.
Okay.
I really want to know if you see anything significant in any weather patterns. I know this one will probably just be like a visual focus for you, but
Yeah. Yeah. Florida. Okay. And that's one thing I've always said, nature bats last. Don't mess with Mother Nature. She's going to have the final say. And yeah, I just went to a Banksy exhibit, and there's a great Banksy exhibit image where there's a monkey, and the monkey is saying, "You laugh now, but one day we'll be in charge." One day the animals will be the ones who are in control of this if we are not more careful. Nature bats last. So Florida, I mean, this will be the undoing of DeSantis. He is not prepared for the next storm. They're going to have to, ask the feds for help. So he's going to have to go begging to Biden for help. I see a lot of problems in Florida. It's almost like this is the thing. There's water where there wasn't before. So maybe you have this house on dry land and now you're in the middle of a lake. This is going to affect the bottom line of DeSantis because there's lots of people on fixed incomes who went and retired there, and now their house is underwater. So now they have real practical problems. And among other things, they need illegal aliens to help them repair their homes, and they won't be there. Do you know there's a thing in Florida where if you have insurance and your house has been damaged, the first thing that you have to do is get rid of the mold. And if you don't get rid of the mold within 3 months or something, the insurance company won't pay.
Right.
So if you have nobody there to do this, you will lose all of your investment, everything. So their hostility is coming back to haunt them. They don't realize that they need these people, but they're not going to come back. And Florida is going to be a problem. But I know we're going into winter. There's stuff going on in the center of the country and in the Southwest. I feel like the Southwest, even though it's winter, might experience drought. And that's all of the Southwest, not just Southern California, but the whole space could be in drought. And I just see that people are worried. People are worried. They don't have enough money for the farms. They may not have enough money for the people enough water for the people that live there. It's a real serious problem. But when I'm looking at the United States of America, I'm just seeing different problems in different places. So in the north, there's too much water and too much snow and a really long, hardcore winter. And in the south, there's not enough water. And it's like the rain stops right in the middle. Again, Mother Nature is telling us something. We need to be in greater relationship. And in the West, especially like in California, it is having political consequences. There are active people who are actively, um, getting to the point of protest where they want some solutions and some relief from the government. And the government is becoming not just that thing where you expect them to do a minimum. It is they are demanding something more and making some real strong political demands. But the main point really is Florida. And don't forget that Florida almost represents conservatives now. A lot of conservatives live there or have moved to live there, expecting the good life. And everybody in every state is looking at that and going, okay, this is what climate denial is like. This is what happens when you pretend nothing bad is going to happen. You wind up looking like Florida. And I have seen this a long time ago. DeSantis just walking into it's like he's a castaway. He will symbolize everything that's wrong with the Republican Party. And it is an absolute disaster for his political campaign and future. He'll go down in history as the fool. And that is, among other things, exactly what he deserves. But, these characters show up for us to look at and watch and see. They are not just people, but really symbols of what's wrong, denial. And that is how people, especially young people, will perceive it. It is how history will be written. When we speak of them in the future, in 100 years, people will speak to them like they think of Benedict Arnold or, traitors to the United States. They're traitors to the people that they are supposed to serve. They went for the money, they went for the power, and they forgot that their role is one of service. There will be big changes in the environment around us, and we have to constantly pester our leaders. Call Joe Manchin's office. He's the one who is stalling on some of the really necessary changes because he gets paid by coal. These are the people that we have to apply pressure to, and it has to be constant pressure. We have to change our government. It's not going to change by itself.
Yeah. I know that we have to have something. I don't know. I kind of almost kind of feel like we've passed that point of return at this point, and the only thing we could do is just mitigate the damage.
Yes.
I don't like putting that out there, but it's almost like we have to just, unless we just all start living like no electricity, no heat, you know what I mean? That's how drastic we would have to be in order to save the damage that has been done at this point.
I don't think so. I think that there are available solutions. I think there are new sources of energy. They're just being suppressed by oil industries. They're there. It's just that we don't have the power. Oil industries have the power. Oil industries are giving money to politicians to deny this. And it just has to be. We have to rise up in a peaceful way and say, no, we are taking our power back. And I do believe that this will be the future. It's just not going to happen quickly and maybe not happen in our lifetimes. We have to find inroads to heal ourselves and to be in good relationship with spirit ourselves, and obviously do all we can. I've ridden a bicycle most of my life and rarely rent a car. That doesn't mean I'm off the hook here, but we all got to do what we can do. Maybe you can't give up your car, but you do what you can. You recycle and you keep pestering and you keep talking to people and you keep persuading and you keep doing your best. Eventually, leaders will emerge that are honest because we will have no choice. And it's always been like that.
Yeah, I
We
hope
always
so.
change because we have to.
I hope so, but we just have the biggest wall to climb over at this point. It's just almost, I don't like to always give out bad news, but I just like,
Yeah.
it's scary to watch this. Okay, so this is the end. So here's where I would love for you to channel a message for
Okay.
the humankind, the universe, whatever. Just a
Okay.
message of peace, love, and chicken grease. I don't know.
Okay, good. So, is it okay if it takes me a couple minutes?
Yeah, go for it, honey. Yeah.
Edit. Okay, good. Because I might have to just walk up the stairs, as I like to call it. Ooh, I'll just tell you guys what I'm seeing. It's like a column of light, and I'm in a boat. And I'm just going to let the boat take me where it goes. It's interesting because it usually is stairs. But this time the boat is like going up the river, but it's almost going upstream in a way, uphill. Hmm. Now, I'm not quite there, but here's the interesting message. We're moving out of the age of machines. There's been 100 years or so where it's all been about the machines. Now it's going to be more about the soul. And that's the next 1,000 years. Let's go a little further. This man looks like an Aboriginal man. Hmm. And he could be like almost Aboriginal from any culture, like the more earthy sort of man. All right. And I always do this. I always ask them, show me something that lets me know you come from the light. All right. I feel confident. So now I'm going to ask him to go ahead and speak if he wants to speak through me. You can call me Mateo for today's session. That is a way of speaking my name. Know now that you are all here for a reason. It is not hopeless. It is a process. It is a way of understanding yourselves in an environment. You were sent here from the light to experience these things. There is no reason to feel hopeless. There's every reason to exist in a way, to love in a way, to be in a way. There is every reason to be optimistic because it is not about all the things around you. It is about you. It's about you and your own growth. You can become. You can become something great and beautiful. You already are great and beautiful. It is just a question of continuing the process of becoming great and beautiful. See yourself for who you are first. Understand your possibilities and your potential. Do not forget yourself as you are moving forward in these social and political ways. Don't forget to come back to the self. to come back to who you are, to come back to evolving and becoming. It is important now that you all take a moment to love yourself, to see yourself for who you are, not just the good bits, but all of the bits, all of the things that you are working on and learning, and to accept that this is okay. You have faults, you have limitations, you live in a place with faults and limitations. That is okay, because this is not the end. It is not the beginning. You are in the middle of the process. Sometimes that is difficult for you because you are neither beginning or finishing. You are right in the middle of the human evolution, of the human becoming. You are somewhere between the earth and the stars. And this is often confusing for you because you cannot see the light, you cannot see the end, and you cannot see the beginning. Enjoy this space. Enjoy the experience of not knowing everything, but of knowing something. Enjoy the experience of knowing that the tasks before you are not easy. They are quite difficult because you have chosen to be born at this time. You have chosen to understand the world in this way at this time. You have chosen to take in certain information, to understand that information, and to choose to react to that information. It will often happen that you are wrong, that you make mistakes, that you overreact or underreact. This is okay. It is part of your learning. But it is essential that you do these things, that you do make your mistakes, that you do move forward, that you do accept that you are sometimes wrong. If you were always correct, there would be no reason for you to be on earth experiencing this life. And remember, Spirit doesn't just want you to go forward and do good things. Spirit wants you to experience your life in a happy and fun way. You don't have to suffer all the time, even though you see others suffering. You don't have to take on their suffering. You have to be sympathetic because that is part of your evolution. But you also have to love yourself. That is essential for your evolution. You cannot help others unless you help yourself. Spend some time every day staying with yourself and speaking to what you call God or the universe. Spend some time praying and asking Spirit to show you what you are doing well, to show you who you really are in a loving way and not a criticizing way. This is essential for you to move forward. You cannot always be outside yourself. It will not benefit the universe if you go through your life and you don't have any fun. Enjoy it. There are plenty of ways for you to enjoy life without hurting another. There are plenty of ways for you to take pleasure without consuming and contributing to the problem. Find out what these are. It's okay if you want to be at home and be alone, as long as you are spending that time being kind to yourself. Find things that you enjoy that are fun. Find things that are funny to watch. Don't spend too much time seeing the dire news because it really will consume you and make you feel helpless. You're not helpless. All the things that you are experiencing are real and important and useful for the universe to know. We want you to know how much we appreciate the hard work you are doing on earth. We understand how difficult it is to come back to the self, to come back to love and beauty and happiness. We understand that you are extremely challenged at this time. It will be very helpful if you spend several minutes today loving yourself. Spend several minutes today accepting yourself with whatever faults you perceive that you have. The most important thing is to know that this is a journey. There are others outside the human race who would love to be in your place, who would love to experience all of the emotions, Happiness, sadness, envy, greed, all of those emotions are things that we on the other side don't necessarily get to feel. And all of those feelings are important and need to be experienced. We don't want to encourage anyone to act wrongly because that will just carry regret forward for you. We do want you to accept that you have some limitations and see yourself doing your best. Don't get distracted by the media, which tells you that everything is going to heck. Understand that this is the place that you are supposed to be in. You can change it, but first you must alter your own perceptions of the world around you. Don't see it as a hell. See it as a school. Sometimes the teachers are not the best. Sometimes the teachers are pretty good. You also are your own teacher. Take in the information as it is. Don't forget to take it in outside of the world. That is, outside of the media, which is constantly feeding you dire stories of the future. We are aware of all of the things that you're going through. The world will not end. The human race will not disappear. It will evolve as it needs to evolve. We send this message with all the love in our hearts. All that love is merited because you are doing a good job of moving forward in a difficult situation. This is why we bring these messages forward, because we wish to serve and help you. We are always there to serve and help you. If you ask us directly, we will send messages to you individually of help. It is a question only of asking and of listening, because we might not speak to you in the most direct ways. It might be a bird that lands on a tree nearby, or a kind word from another, or just a feeling of message and love. We send this transmission all right. Thanks so much for watching.
Hang on a minute. I gotta get us back on thing. Guess I'll have to. How did I do that? View. Oh, there it is. Okay, gallery. I guess I'll have to edit that out.
That's all right. No problem at all. Yeah, I like the picture. Yeah,
I
it's kind of
figured it out.
interesting.
Yeah, I put you on main screen, but I'll try to figure out. Anyways, probably leave it in because
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of interesting that it happened that way.
I'm a dork.
I don't think that was accidental. Uh, it was almost like you became the listener,
Yeah.
right? Image. Yeah. Yeah, great. Did that feel good?
Yes, it did. It sounded good. Good, a great
Yeah.
message. What a great.
Yeah. Yeah, Sheila, you're in the middle of all this. Remember, it's not just the people out there. You are in the middle of this. It's like you're like this electrical wire that's going through from you to the universe. It's a lot of work you're doing. It's not easy job that you have. And that goes for everybody that's watching. Be sure to spend some time with yourself in a very positive way. Don't hesitate to ask the universe for some accolades, for some love, for some help. You
That
deserve
is
it.
true. I've realized that also is to just keep myself balanced. I know sometimes I'll wake up and I there's a few times wake up and I go right into politics and I go, whoa, 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 Sheila.
Mm,
Let's
mm.
have some like Abraham Hicks, some nice
Yes.
music.
Yeah.
Let's get give my body and my mind a gentle wake up
Yes.
versus a harsh wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
that too. So
I recommend listening to Meilon. It's
Milan. Oh,
MEI-LAN. You know her? Yeah, MEI-LAN. I've been doing that a lot. And she just does this great just music of the universe. It's just
oh,
beautiful and kind and loving. And look at nature. Sometimes I just turn on and I just look at a river,
yeah.
and it'll really restore your soul. all this information is overwhelming us.
It is, and on occasion, and it's starting to work itself out. No matter what the Republicans have done, said,
Yes.
shoved in our faces,
Yes.
again,
Mhm.
they want to fearmonger us into thinking that they're winning and we're not. At this point
Yes.
in time, it's all fake charges, and Trump
Uh,
is not gonna, he's not in trouble. It's all,
uh,
they're talking to us now, trying to get, and we're
uh,
all over here going, no, we watched it. No, he
yeah.
said it.
Uh, just look at Trump's mugshot and know that he's afraid,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whatever happens right now, he is really afraid.
And
And he
he
will
practiced
spend,
for that.
yes. And even if he doesn't go to jail, he's going to be afraid for the rest of his life. He's going to be fighting these charges till he dies.
Well,
And
I just believe that they're just probably going to give him a little West Wing somewhere, and they might be building his own little prison right now because they know he's
uh,
going, right.
yeah,
Like if the guy's like, well, you need to start over on that building and start making that his place.
yeah, yeah.
There's no
Well,
way he's getting out of it.
I don't think it's going to be that easy for him. I think it's going to be a lot rougher. And remember, he's a narcissist.
Yeah, he
So
might just
just
take
the
himself out just to get out of it.
just the judge saying no, you can't talk. It's hell for him. Uh,
Yes.
so there are consequences, and he'll be experiencing that for the rest of his life. He's hemorrhaging money on lawyers who are not any good, right? And it's not just about him; it's all those people who supported him. He
Yep.
couldn't have done this without Mark Meadows,
No.
and that's that. Nobody. He's not charismatic enough to prevent himself from the consequences of this.
No. Yep. And these people that are around him, they're all jumping ship like rats. I mean, they're not loyal. There's no loyalty among thieves right now. And
No,
we're
there
all
isn't.
here for it and watching it.
Yes.
So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. And if you made it this far, I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you, David, again for a wonderful collaboration. And we will have to make appointment for next month. So,
Good one.
bye,
Love
everyone.
you all.
रंग भरा फिजाओं में वादियों में नजारों में
Look at that cat. Look at that.